Anyway, everybody, welcome to the November luncheon for the Lake Stevens Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all for coming today. We appreciate it. We're excited to have Lake Stevens Mayor Brett Gailey with us. We'll get to him here in just a moment or two. I've just got a couple of quick announcements to do real quick. First off, we need to go ahead and thank our gold investors for this year. First off, ACE Lake Stevens, as well as Community Transit, two gold investors we have so far this year. And our silver investors, Waste Management, Heritage Bank, Wells Fargo, and Republic Services. So thank you to all of them for being investors in the Chamber. We appreciate their support. Just want to remind you about our second event we have today. We had backed up our luncheon a month to avoid being on Veterans Day, so we kind of dumped it on top of the day we have our networking after hours. Our event this evening at 5 p.m. on the Blitzer Network. Fantastic new networking platform that allows for one-to-one conversations. It kind of works like speed dating or speed networking, I guess, actually. You get, there's a brief little presentation where I'll say a few words, and then it's 5 minutes, one-to-one conversations timed, and then it moves you on to another one. When you sign up for the Blitzer platform, sign up to join us on the event, you'll get a chance to rate the other participants using a red, green, or yellow, red, yellow, green scale. So red would be somebody that maybe you see all the time, don't necessarily need a network event at this sort of networking event. Green would be somebody that you're highly interested in trying to connect with. The computer system then in the background will match you together as the event goes on through each one of the 5-minute time things. It lasts about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, so it's not quite as long as a normal networking event, but it's great. It's really lots of fun. I've enjoyed the blitzers that I've gone to, so I invite you to join us today at 5 p.m. On Networking After Hours on Blitzer, and I'll put the link in the chat here to sign up for that here once the mayor gets going, and then we'll go from there. Remind you too about our other networking event next week. This is Tuesday morning, November 25th, 8 to 9 a.m. our morning mingle. Join us via Zoom for morning mingle. This is a casual Zoom-based networking conversation event. Just kind of come talk with other leaders, business leaders from throughout the Lake Stevens area, and come when you can, leave when you need to, bring a cup of coffee and hang out with us next Tuesday morning, November 25th, 8 to 9 a.m. via Zoom. I want to remind you all about the Lights of Lake Stevens presented by Ace Hardware. We're in the sign-up phase. Sign-ups are open right now, and we are looking for entries in all categories, including the business category. We have a best dressed business category too as well, and we're working on prizes on these at this point. It looks like it's probably going to be cash prizes. So as soon as we get those sorted, which hopefully we'll have by the end of the week, we will make that announcement of what the cash prizes are. But we definitely invite you to join us, sign up, decorate your homes and businesses to bring a little extra light and joy to Lake Stevens this holiday season. Voting will take place entries are open until December 1st. Let's see, I gotta go the right way. Entries are open until December 1st. Voting will take place between December 4th and the 20th, and we hope to announce winners on the 22nd via Facebook. We do have a Facebook page. Find us on Facebook at Lights of Lake Stevens. You can just do a search and it should come right up. We're the only one. And again, there are still as well sponsorship opportunities. We have one category sponsor so far. Waste Management has stepped up and joined us to be the sponsor of the All One Color display. The other categories are a traditional display, all the lights and colors you remember from your childhood, sports themed featuring your favorite sports team, be it Seahawks, Silvertips, Kraken, or whatever other sports team you might like. Our best dressed business category that I mentioned before, and our Grinchiest or Charlie Browniest, I think comedy, funny type displays in that category there. So we hope you'll join us either as an entry or if you're interested in a sponsorship of one of those other categories that I mentioned, we'd love to have you on board. Reach out and let us know. Before we get to Brett real quick, he'll probably mention this, but I want to mention it as well. The city recently, as recently as yesterday, announced another round of CARES Act funding for small businesses, grants available out there for our small businesses here in Lake Stevens. It is a short application time frame, though. You have to apply by 4 o'clock tomorrow. So if you're interested in getting in on the I'll try to post the link in the chat as well for all of that for you to check out, so you can get a direct link to apply. Application, again, like I said, due by 4 p.m. Thursday, that's tomorrow. And the initial focus will be on businesses that have not gotten a grant from the city in the previous couple of rounds that we've had, but then we'll flow to one to others. So don't hesitate to apply if you think you are eligible. All the eligible information will be on the link that I'll put in the chat over there. So that's about all I've got for this morning, Brett. Oh, other than one other thing, sorry. Other than the one other thing I have. We do have results of our board of director elections, and we'll announce those after Brett's done with his presentation. So stick around for that information. I see Lily's here and Juanita's on the ballot. Frank's on the ballot. So stick around, you guys. We'll announce that right after Brett is done with his presentation. So now I'm done, Brett. Sorry. Take it away, sir.
Cool. Good stuff, Matt.
Thank
yeah,
you,
make sure if you haven't put in for a grant, put in for a grant. We've done, this will be our 4th grant. I think our first grant was 300,000. Our second was like 100,000. Our third, we were able to do 150, and then with the latest governor's edicts this weekend, I had the staff relook at if we had any additional CARES Act money, and we found about 100,000 Monday morning, and then a wonderful county council member, Sam Lowe, also found some county money that's going to throw into our kitty as well. So, but our constraints are that we've got to get this money spent by the end of November. That's why we have a short turnaround on this grant application. So with that, we threw out a 4th round of grants that's going on this week. So make sure you apply. This one, I'm gonna wait a little bit more towards my the matrix as far as what we give out. I'm going to weight it a little stronger towards my restaurants and gyms, and those specifically targeted by the closures. So, but please apply. Hopefully we'll have a good amount of money and total amount of money and get some out there. Also, Matt, did you get a hold of Matt Smith with EASC?
I got his phone call. I haven't had a chance to call him back. He's on my list to call this afternoon, but I did see that, yes.
Okay, they might have some money for the chamber to do some stuff. So,
yep.
Hey, well, I'm thankful to be here. Thankful that Matt organized this, and I thought today what I would do is just give you guys a 30,000-foot view of the budget that we're going to do for 2021. It's just some of the highlights in it. Not get deep into the numbers because even I get really confused with the numbers sometimes, but that's okay. And but I just want to give you guys a good overview of the budget so you can understand where the city is going to go in 2021. So with that, let me share some PowerPoint. Everyone seeing that? All right, let's blow this up a little bit. Let's see.
There we go.
I don't think that's what we want to see, is it? I just want to see one thing at a time.
Yeah.
You know,
do you have dual screens? It might be that it's selected the wrong screen.
No.
That happens to me sometimes.
Here, we'll just do this. We'll get rid of that. Can you see that well enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, so just real, no, that's going to show, no, it's not what I want to do.
I think if you go to the very, very top and hit slideshow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hit, but I'm getting this dual screen thing. So.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. Let me figure out what I'm going to do here. All right, well, let's just see what we get here. So you can see, so we're seeing 2 screens at a time, right?
Nope.
Actually, we just have the like looks like the work screen where it's got all the slides on the side as well.
Does it say 2021 budget key initiatives?
No, it's your edit mode.
No, we just have, yeah, you're in edit mode, it looks like.
Gosh,
It's fighting you today.
it's killing me. What if I hit?
You might try unsharing, and then when you choose to share again, if you have dual screens where you're at, then it'll let you choose one screen or another.
Yeah, start the PowerPoint now,
Hmm.
then pick the full PowerPoint from the screen that it has it on.
All right, let's try that.
There we go.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so are you seeing, because I see 2 slides, because I think I'm seeing the next slide also.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct, yeah.
Okay, so you're seeing budget key initiatives?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So those are our key initiatives for the 2021 budget. We want to continue revitalizing the downtown core and continue work on the civic campus planning. Civic campus planning, if you haven't heard, that is looking at a design build process that would include City Hall, a library, and sewer district up at the Chapel Hill property that the city owns. And additionally, we're looking at doing some additional park funding, recreation. You know, it's really a key, you know, Lake Stevens is such a great community, such a cool community, and we really need to become known as a recreational jewel. We are that as far as the lake's concerned, but really we need to become that place that people bring their kids for tournaments, for soccer tournaments, and we see that already with the skate park, and there's some other opportunities out there. I think we can start kicking up our game on that. We want to make sure we always keep a high level of public safety. That's a big one for me. And that we continue to invest in our infrastructure, which helps out with our economic development issues. So a little bit about where our money comes from. Let's see if I can. Okay, do you have the revenue breakdown now?
Yep,
Okay.
we do.
Okay, so that's a little bit where our money comes from. Majority of our money comes from property taxes and sales taxes. And actually the 4th quarter of last year was the first year that our retail sales tax crossed the line with our property taxes. So we were getting more sales tax revenue than we were property tax revenue. And that's really the shift we need to continue as over the next couple of years, as our residential growth drops because we run out of buildable lands. We need to start replacing that with driving economic development in commercial and real estate development, right? So that we start to gather more sales tax revenue from our citizens and people coming into Lake Stevens, so that we cross that revenue stream. So that's a little bit about where our revenues come from. Lots of different pots of money, and you always have to know what you can spend that pot of money on and what you can't spend that pot of money on, and how to move it around to be flexible. It can sometimes be a difficult chore. So one of the things that we did as we looked forward to 2021 is we wanted to be really conservative with the COVID issues on the budget. And we wanted to maintain service. we also recognize that we're a growing city and we need to start increasing some of the services and refining, expanding some of our services. And so one of the things that we did look at is additional staffing for next year. So these are some of the positions that we will look at hiring for next year, or reclassifying some of our current positions. We will have an annexation next, that'll be done December, January, probably of about another 6,000 people. So the east side of the lake and the south side of the lake, part of that annexation is a need to increase our police officers by about 4 or 5 police officers. So, so we're going to look at starting on that by adding 2 police officers this next year. A big thing for me is code enforcement. And so you can see in there, we have under community development, we have a code enforcement inspector. So right now we have 2 folks that do our building permits, inspections, and they spend about 10% of their time on code enforcement. And as we grow as a city and as we incorporate some county areas into the city, we have a need to make sure that we're making sure our neighborhoods are looking clean and that we're a first-class city. So code enforcement's a big deal to me. As a retired police officer, I know that most oftentimes police officers can't get rid of problem houses in a neighborhood, but a code enforcement officer sure can. So that's why we're bringing on a full-time code enforcement inspector, and that person will probably we'll put a call for apps out in January and probably bring that person on in March. Now, due to the COVID issues and not sure exactly where the economy is going to go with the election and with COVID, all these positions won't happen except for the code enforcement until June. We wanted to see where the budget was going to go and make sure the revenues were continuing to come into the city. Some big pluses for our revenues is our sales tax revenue is actually up over our projected of 2020. And that's due to everyone sitting at home clicking and getting Amazon to come to their door instead of going to the big box stores. So that's a plus, and I would love to see that continue in supporting our local retail, as well as if you don't want to support our local retail, jumping on Amazon and stop taking your money to Linwood and Everett. Although I like Cassie and their mayors, but you know how it is. So that's some of the staffing we're going to do this next year. This eye chart here is our staffing, just to kind of show you how many employees we do have at the city. You have police officers over here. You have the police department over here. You have Public Works, and Public Works does a lot for the few people they have, right? So the green are positions that we're going to fill in 2021, and the light blue are positions that are vacant, and that's what we look like for an org chart. So some of the things that we did do, so we have, when we look at increases in the budget, we really look at staffing, and then we look at items that specific departments want to increase in their budgets. And we were pretty conservative on those. These are some of the items that we did approve for the different departments. Doing some refinement within our software issues. For me, our parks security is a big deal. We took over Davies Park. That was a big problem for a while. I immediately threw a camera up in that park, and we didn't have any problems there this summer. So as we roll out parks and as we fix up our parks, staff knows that part of that package includes cameras. to make sure that we're safe in our parks and that our parks are kept beautiful and not vandalized and that sort of thing. So, yep, those are some of the things that we're doing there for as far as projects. This I always hesitate on showing this chart because it just shows that our general fund is going down. One of the issues is we actually have quite a bit of extra money in our general fund, and it actually needs to be spent down a little bit. But what this doesn't show is 2020, it doesn't show any projected revenues. For example, this doesn't show Costco. So if you didn't know, we got great news on Costco this week. There was an appeal. There was a what's the word I want? There was a hearing on some issues for Costco. That hearing examiner came back this week and refuted all the issues of the opponents of Costco. So Costco, unless they want to appeal the hearing examiner, Costco is an absolute go. And we should start seeing dirt flying in the spring with a projected opening for your $1.50 hot dogs the week before Thanksgiving next year. So when we look at this revenue and ending forecasted balances, that doesn't include a Costco that will bring in about 1.25 million extra into our sales tax revenue, as well as the ancillary businesses that are going to kick up around Costco and on 20th Street. So that's a little downer of a chart, but it's not, if you understand it, it's not that much of a downer. These are some of the facilities, capital programs that we're working on currently and for next year. We're just finishing up the police station construction, which is the old fire headquarters there over by Tom Thumb. That is just about to be done. We should occupy it here within a couple weeks. And then we will focus on the old police station and doing a restoration on that building to lift it up. And we're also out to bid on a public works remodel, public workshop remodel. If you don't know where the public workshop is, it is on Hartford Road. If you go north on Hartford Road off 20th, Public Works is down about a quarter of a mile on your left. There's a building there with a bunch of city vehicles. That's the Public Works building, and it's not in shambles, but it could use some love. And so we're gonna give it some love that will include quite a bit of office space, and we'll be able to move a lot of our Public Works folks that are currently at City Hall over to Public Works and get them closer to their product and what they're organizing. Some of our parks that we're doing currently and next year. So if you haven't noticed, we're currently doing North Cove Phase 2, which is right behind the City Hall. That includes a playground, an open air shelter, some restrooms, a little parking lot, and a deck that kind of overlooks the lake. So, and we'll have some more trails, that sort of thing in that park as well. Next year, we're looking at doing Phase 1 of the Power Line Trail. That will go from 20th Street Southeast to 8th Street Southeast, and that will be a running biking trail. And we are planning on a new dog park on the 20th Street side, an expanded dog park underneath the power lines. What else we have there? We're looking at doing some additional boat slips off of the dock at North Cove so that people can get their boats over, jump off the dock, walk over, be right into North Cove, be at the mill, go to Francisco's, go to wherever they want to eat downtown, and just have some boat slips there. And we have a very talented public works guy, Nick, who's going to build those slips for us. Great guy. And with the annexation of the east side of the lake, we do pick up Sunset Beach next year from the county. And we're putting $100,000 into restoring that park. That park has probably never been touched by the county. Don't even, other than them cutting down a tree last year that was in bad shape, I don't think they've ever touched that thing, and it's sloughing off into the lake, and we need to get in there and restore it so it's a better use of that facility. Also fix some parking in there. It's really dangerous to get in and out of that park. So we have lots of transportation stuff this next year. So we've already started. And one of the things we really did is I tried to back the staff off of doing projects for next year because we do have Costco coming, and there's so many second and third order projects that will complement Costco. We've already started extending 91st Street across 20th Street Southeast. That will be the western portion road of Costco. So we've already started that project. And as you know, we've been expanding 20th Street all summer, and then also with the HOV lane or the bat lane that goes down to the trestle. And the other big project you'll see next year is the roundabout that will go at South Lake Stevens Road and Highway 9. There will be a roundabout that will go in there that will then shoot South Lake Stevens Road across and turn into 24th, which is then the south edge of Costco. So 91st and 24th will connect, and then Costco goes in the middle there. If that makes sense. So that happens next year. So there's a lot of construction going on around that Costco space next year. Next year also, WSDOT does phase 2 of the 9204 intersection, and that consists of a northbound lane on 9 from Marketplace to 4th Street. So right now when you have had a burger at Razzles and you want to get out on a 9, you've got to take a left, and you've got to take that sharp right to go on to northbound 9. So there'll be a lane that connects to that street, 4th Street, that will allow you to go take a right in off of 9 onto 4th, and you'll be able to go right out onto 9 from 4th. That's phase 2. And then in 2022 and 2023, you'll see the two roundabouts built at Highway 9 and 204, and then the second roundabout will go between Les Schwab and Big O Tire. And that will all be done by WSDOT. So 22, 23 will be a pretty congested year for Highway 9 in the middle of the city. Still working on, so we got the HOV lane that we're working on. We have, we'll do some sidewalk improvements next year. I'm trying to work with County Council Member Sam Lowe to design continuing the Lake Stevens road path that we built this last year. We want to design continuing that path down to Centennial Trail. And then downtown projects. So we will continue next year as well. The build out of the Festival Street. So if you look at this slide, right now the library museum sits right here. So we'll build this Festival Street that goes in the middle there. And the city council just authorized a surplus of the property that's between the library and the museum over to the church. So we're going to surplus that area and look for development there, multi-use development hopefully get some more restaurants downtown and maybe some living space in that area that will help complement downtown, get more people living down there.
Hey, Brett, just real quick, like we couldn't see your cursor, so just to clarify, in the picture down here on this slide, the lower left-hand corner is basically, that's the post office, right?
Correct. And where
Okay.
it says Festival Street and Public Street, and there's those trees,
That's right, where the library sits now.
that's where the library sits now.
Perfect, excellent, thank you, sir.
All right. Other projects we have going on, we're building a decant facility. It's a joint project with the sewer district. That's out in Hartford. If you don't know what a decant facility is, all the stuff that gets sucked up by Vector machines and just all the stuff that gets, all the yucky stuff, that goes to the decant facility and gets kind of separated out and either shipped somewhere else or put into the system. One of our big projects that we have working on is the downtown flooding. It is a big deal. It's been studied so many times. We just finished a study, and I think it's the third study since the 70s on what to do with the downtown flooding. And I'm tired of studies, and it's time to get something done. So there's a lot of pieces to the flooding downtown. And I think the initial fixes, there's 3 initial fixes that we need to try to get done with this next summer. If you don't understand fish windows, you can only work in wet areas during the fish window. So like right now, we couldn't go in and expand the outflow because there's kokanee in it right now. So you have to wait till it's like July, August, early September for what's called the fish window to be able to work in water when there's no fish in it. So we have to, we're looking at, what I would like to do this next fish window is to replace the weir that controls how much water is in the lake and get that automated. And also and maybe someone who's lived here longer than some of the folks I've asked would know this, but I have yet to find anybody who ever remembers the outflow being dredged and widened. So that needs to happen this summer. And I would really like to see on Hartford, the outflow from the lake flows down alongside Hartford and it goes down to Catherine Creek. And where those two meet, that's a major choke point. And Catherine Creek empties out with about a 36-inch culvert pipe. So all that land from on Hartford to the north, it just does not drain very fast because it only goes through 36 inches of a pipe. So what we need to do is create a culvert bridge, and that's already being designed underneath there, much like the bridge that's at Catherine Creek and 20th Street, so that we can get some water flow out of that northern area and reduce the amount of water that's downtown. So that's a big deal, and I want to make something happen on that this next year. And so the budget's still in the process. We'll end up probably adopting it here late November. And that's the budget. Just a high level look at it. I'm thinking I'll just open it up for questions and see what anybody has for me.
We did have one come up in the chat. Lindsay, the library manager, kind of answered it, but it kind of goes to a couple of things that you talked about there. One, you talked about the old police station in downtown that's going to be remodeled, as well as the Festival Street that's taking over where the library building is now. Do you guys have an idea about the library, where it might go?
Did Lindsay leave me?
She's here.
That one?
She said she wasn't quite sure yet, so I wasn't sure if you guys had a thought on that as well.
The last I know about that, so some options are the old police station, but as I understand it, the library is also looking at another couple options that are around the city to see where they want to go and how that looks. So we'll just have to see how that works out. But yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anyone have any questions for Brett? Feel free to unmute and say, James, I see you got your hand up. Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, thank you. Mayor, you mentioned the annexations briefly. That would be the south or the east and southeast areas of the UGA. Are the residents going to be voting on that soon, or?
So that won't be a vote. The legislature last year created a mechanism where if the city and the county are both agreeable on what's already been the accepted UGA area, and both sides agree that they can, that the city can take on that UGA area, then it becomes just an agreement between the city and the county, and it doesn't go to a vote.
So the residents don't have any input whatsoever?
Oh, there's input as far as that we do. We've done, I think we've done one public town hall on it, and we'll do public hearings on it as well.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Good question. So one of the things, let me address that. So one of the issues we have in the city is that revenue of property, the income we receive from residential construction is going to start dropping big time, right? And so one of the things we really need to do is either expand our boundaries, our UGA, so that we can incorporate more areas that we can either do residential growth. Me personally, I would rather do expanded commercial growth. And right now we just don't have that in the city. So we've asked to expand our UGA south and a little bit north. And it's really hard to go and ask for that if we haven't annexed what we're supposed to annex already. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Brett, I got two questions for you.
Yeah, Chris.
So do we have any idea what's going on or what is going to happen with the old Warnock place on Vernon Road? The rumors just keep flying around that the city keeps blocking sales, which I know is not the truth, but any idea if anything is going to happen there or has been proposed to happen there?
The old Warnock.
Yeah, the old boat launch, the old boat launch place on Vernon Road, commercial property at Sound Salmon Solutions on Vernon Road.
Did we talk about this the last time?
I thought there was something about a possible city joint public venture thing, but that was it. That was many, many months ago.
Yeah.
So, any kind of update.
So we met with a family member of that property. When I say we, I got with John Spencer and Jim Hagan, and we met with a family member on that property back in May or June, and stimulated the conversation of, can we get this property moving? There's several developers who've offered on that property who would love to pick up that property and do some great stuff with it. But the family is just not there yet on moving it. And I'm not sure if the city, there's some mechanisms the city could use. I get uncomfortable about them, right? But I would much rather see the family just make a decision, get a good price for that piece, and see something happen with it.
Yeah, I know there's one family member that's kind of adamantly against it, I think. Yeah. It's internal family. And I was going to ask the other question was, I know that I think it was it called the Land Development Committee? The notice came out that they turned down the recommendation for doing that multifamily zoning around the lake.
Yeah.
Is that what's going to happen with, I know that there was a property on Sandy Beach that was sold that kind of started that conversation. Is anything going to happen there at all?
So I think what will end up happening on that property is, under the shoreline management property, they will be able to get 3 duplexes on that property, and I think that's what they'll end up doing.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. I've seen the plans on it. It'll be a nice project,
Oh, yeah.
but
I'm
it
sure.
but it won't be the big. It won't be a bunch of affordable housing units. That's for sure.
Right.
Thank you, Chris, for your questions. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anybody else got questions they'd like to ask Brett about the city, about moonshine, about?
Hi, Mayor. I had a quick question about the dog park. I heard you mention it. Is it an additional dog park off 20th on the other side, or is it going to be a replacement to the current dog park next to the skate park?
So Tanya, my vision on this is I want to see us build, and I've been using the word skookum because I like that word, skookum dog park underneath the power lines. And one that will bring in regionally people into our city to enjoy our dog park. And yes, I envision that replacing the dog park at Cavallero. And the reason why is because where the dog park is at Cavallero it's dry and there's no power lines over the top of us. So I would much rather turn that into some turf fields for soccer and lacrosse and football stuff. That right now I have, what do I have? I've got 5 kids and a little baby now, right? So I've doomed myself to live in Snohomish and Marysville and Everett to play soccer because we don't have fields in Lake Stevens, right? So I want to create those fields here. And the start of that is moving the dog park underneath the power lines so then we can do something different with Cavallero.
Okay, cool. Will the new dog park most likely then have water access?
So there's wetlands in that area. So what we want to do is incorporate some, shy dogs, big dogs, little dogs, some training area. And incorporate that wetlands in there. And I think it's really smart to have, the dog washing station there. So we're thinking about all those modern dog park amenities to include in there. I think it just makes sense.
Great, thanks.
You bet. And if you do a dog park right, it's an economic driver. People love their dogs. I like my little dog, even though he's a little turd. I like him, and so I'll take him to the dog park. And if you build a dog park right, people will come from outside our city to use the dog park and spend their money, and that's a reason why.
Cool. We got a question in the chat from Juanita. Will there be a copy of the budget available that somebody can get a hold of to look at deeper if they would like?
You bet, Anita. I'm trying to think if it's posted. It should be posted in the last agenda, city council agenda.
Gotcha.
And I'm not sure if it actually has a posting on our website or not, but I know it would be in like the last city council agenda.
Very good.
Would it be the slideshow or the budget?
I think Josh has the slideshow in the last agenda. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
Perfect. Any other questions for the mayor today? No?
Anything.
He said anything.
Open. I ran around yesterday with grant applications and made people sign them so I can give them money. It was great.
I love that. That's fantastic.
I hit all the restaurants that haven't been getting any of the money, and they were surprised, and it was great.
Monica.
I have a quick question. Last year when Mayor Spencer spoke to the chamber, I think it was earlier this year in January, he said there was some money budgeted for the Catherine Creek Bridge coming, into Catherine Creek neighborhood, and it's in a lot of disrepair. Is that still on the table at all? I didn't see it in some of those lists.
Let me make sure we were talking the same bridge. Are you talking the overhead, the
Covered?
bridge?
Yeah, the wooden covered bridge that has lights, and we drive over it to get into the neighborhood. So it's right next to the Grade Road meadow. So there's the police station and the fire station and the big meadow and then the bridge to come into our neighborhood.
I'll have to ask John what he's thinking about, because I don't, that's not on my radar.
Okay.
Does it need to get fixed?
Yeah, well, I know when at the presentation last year, it was 150,000 in the budget to redo the bridge.
Okay.
So it's just like the wood is rotting and there's graffiti on it and it needs to be painted and the signage is like literally wiped out. You can't read anything anymore. It's just, yeah, it's just 20 years old. So
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll go out there and take a walkabout, take a look at it. And if I catch any graffiti dudes, they're done.
yeah, it's on the side down on the cement, the concrete. So, all right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll take a look at it.
I did see something in the budget plan for the Catherine Creek Bridge. Is there more than one?
There's more than one. So there's the bridge at 30 on 36th that we need to redo, and then there's the Catherine Creek Hartford culvert
Okay.
that we need to replace with a bridge. So
Okay.
when I think of those, I think of those two, but I didn't think of Monica's Bridge. And I'm just gonna call it Monica's Bridge.
Monica's Bridge for now on. Yeah, there we go. Lily, did I see have your hand up there?
Oh, yes, real quick,
Sure.
that already, but want to make sure that I understood correctly. Did you say, Brad, that Costco will be opening by next November?
That is the goal. So we should see dirt start to fly this spring.
Okay,
And with that, their goal is to get it open before Thanksgiving. They don't want to open it between Thanksgiving and Christmas because that's their chaos time. So
okay,
their goal will be the week before Thanksgiving.
okay, thank you.
You bet. So get ready for the lines. Is it a
Theme.
theme?
Yes, thanks. In communities that I've lived in the past, when it was at this stage of development, it seemed like hotels were something that if they were brought in, that they draw all the rest of the sort of social network. You've been talking about restaurants and everything, and that's great. But to my knowledge, apart from that big bed and breakfast place, there isn't really a hotel, is there, in Lake Stevens? And so I was just wanting to know, is there anything, is there a hotel in the pipeline, or has there been previous discussions for one?
That's a great
It's a wonderful anchor, it's a wonderful draw. And it always seems to, as I say, when in other places, in other cities, that's, in urban planning terms, that's, you always want to get maybe one or even two to bring people in, and then it generates all these subsidiary businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great question. So that's part of my build-up vision when you look at Caballero Park. If we can create more sports facilities there, not only the fields, but we're working with the county tourism board to put an indoor sports facility there. So when we can start getting that, we're just on the cusp of getting a hotel here. I've got a couple of locations on 20th and also around Walgreens that hotels have been talked about, but we just need a little bit more of a push for the draw. And for me, I think that's increasing our recreational abilities. And in sports, it's one of the reasons why I'm pushing with Melissa's husband. He jumped on board as a volunteer on this idea of pushing some mountain biking trails in some of our unused wooded area that we have, so that we can start attracting more people in, and then that hotel or two will pop up for us.
Very good. Thanks very much.
That's a great question.
Yep.
And we can bring back our running events for Aquafest.
Our running event and our half marathon. That's
Yeah.
why the half marathon left. We didn't have anywhere to put them.
Or the triathlons.
Yeah. All right, I meant the triathlon. I have marathon.
We have the half marathon for the sea trail. So, but yeah, the triathlon would be awesome. So cool. Excellent. Anything else for Brett today?
And ask me now, I'm here once a quarter, so.
Right? Yeah,
You get a shot once a quarter.
we appreciate you coming in once a quarter too, Brett. It's been great to have you in, and it's nice to connect with you like this. So we appreciate it.
You bet. And thanks for having me. And if I'm out and about and you see me, please, I'm probably not that busy. Just hit me up and ask me questions, and don't be afraid to say hi.
Definitely. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You bet.
I'm going to move on now. I just have a couple more minutes here, and the only thing I really have left to do is announce the winners of our board of director elections.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, go ahead.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Noticed a number of new people on here today. And
Oh,
I'm
okay, yeah.
wondering if we could just maybe say who they are and what they're with, perhaps?
Sure. Why don't you start, and then I'll pick people to go. We'll just kind of run down whoever's here, and they can say so your name, who you're with, your company, organization, what have you, and yeah, go from there.
Okay.
So you get to start, Christine.
Okay. Christine Eaglestad of Ace Hardware, chamber board member, and that's good.
Okay. Excellent. James, I got you next on the list.
Well, thank you. Yes. James Monroe at the Rotary Club of Lake Stevens. I've been here a few times, but not lately. So.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. Jerry.
Yep. Jerry Stumbaugh, and I'm on the board with Lake Stevens Senior Center.
Very good. Welcome. Sharon.
Hi, my name's Sharon Aid. I'm with Northwest Innovative Research Center, and we just introduced Project Reinvent, which helps small businesses and dislocated workers connect and pivot in this economy. So if you know anybody that needs some help, send them our way. It's complimentary service if the needs match, and we can help you get pivoted.
I'm going to try to get some extra information from Sharon to put in our newsletter this week as well. So if you need more information about it, watch for the newsletter, but also it's, do you have your web address, Sharon? You could stay out real quick.
Yeah. Sure. It's nwirc.com. I'll put it in the chat.
Perfect. That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure thing. Mary.
Hey. I appeared.
You did. That's great. Welcome.
Yes, it was great to hear everybody. I miss seeing you face to face. And thank you, Brett, for getting me all excited about what's happening next, Mayor Gailey. It has been a wild ride, and I wish you all good health. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance. Let's get past this. Thank you so much, and to all our businesses as well. Our chamber is the heart of our city. Thank you all. All the best.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate that. Tanya Christofferson.
I'm Tanya Christofferson. I'm the general manager for Lake Stevens Sewer District for about 12 more days. I am retiring, but I'm sure I'll be around in some fashion or another. So thank you, Matt.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming. Athene. Oops, you're muted there. There you go.
Hi, I'm Athene Tarrant, and my company is Suvana. We record family histories, and this is my husband, Brian Tarrant.
And I'm with Banter Studio. I design restaurants and hotels. I wonder why she asked that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about you the whole time, sir.
Uh-oh, we've been found out. Nice to meet you all, and thank you, Mayor, for such a really, we're new to the community, really, and so that was really helpful. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Athene, and they are two of our newest members here at the chamber, so we appreciate them. Chris Jacobson.
So I'm Chris Jacobson. I am on the board with the Lake Stevens Food Bank. I figured I should maybe listen in from time to time since we keep asking to help feed this this community of ours. So plus I like listening to Brett talk. So I'm sorry, Mayor Gailey talk. So I had a to say.
Absolutely. Welcome. Thank you for coming today. Cindy Ann. Oops, Cindy.
I'm Cindy
There
Ann.
you are.
I'm the
Excellent.
newest member of Serve Pro. And I'm enjoying listening to all that's going on in Lake Stevens.
Thank you, Cindy. Frank.
I'm Frank with Mesa Allstate in Old Downtown. Happy to be here and happy to have the ear of the mayor. That's always nice to have. So I appreciate that, Bates, and having all of you.
Cindy Ashton. Oh, you're muted. Cindy's muted. Cindy's with First Financial Northwest Bank and is a board member of the chamber as well. So we welcome her. Thanks for coming today, Cindy. Appreciate it. Jamie Taylor.
Hi, I'm Jamie with Lake Stevens School District, and I'm also on the chamber board. It's nice to see you all today. Thanks for being here.
And Juanita.
Hi, Juanita Williams, Williams Real Estate Brokers. We're located next to LJ's and Bruno's. Just want to thank Mayor Gailey for all his information, and he's always been upfront with it. So, and welcome to to the new people showing up at our meeting. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. Lindsay?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Hanson. I'm the manager at the Lake Stevens Library.
Excellent. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate it. Mariah?
Hey, good morning. I'm Mariah Lowe. I'm the interim general manager, so I'll be taking over when Tanya retires. So we're here at the Lake Stevens Sewer District. So
excellent.
Thanks.
Welcome. Melissa Hemrick.
I'm Melissa from Coastal Community Bank and also current board president for Sherwood.
Excellent. Thank you for being here today. Melissa Knack.
Hi, I'm Melissa Knack. I'm with Friends of the Library and the Education Foundation.
Excellent. Let's see, we did Sharon, didn't we, right? Stacy? Stacy's on the phone. Stacy's with
let's see.
There we
Am
go.
I unmuted?
Yes, you are now. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Okay. Hi. All right. I am Stacy Lindstrand with Heritage Bank and also a chamber board member. And it is really fun to see new faces at our meeting. So thank you all for being here. And that presentation was awesome from Brett. I feel like with COVID, we're kind of detached from what's going on even in our own city. So that was great. Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate it. Tanya Davis, do we do?
Yeah, hi, I'm Tanya
Excellent.
Davis, and I am part of the chamber representing Highland Elementary PTA. I believe we're the only school that are chamber members.
That's correct. Let's see here. Who's got next? Tessa.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tessa Long with SERPRO of North and South Everett.
Excellent. And Monica, I think we missed you. Monica?
I'm Monica Christopherson with the Efficient Organization. So I help people get organized and also use their time wisely. And I appreciate seeing everybody's face here today. And thank you, Mayor, for all the great information.
Excellent. Anybody I missed? I was going down the list and I was jumping a little bit. So if anybody I missed, oh, Cindy Petosa.
Hi, yeah, Cindy Petosa. I'm the owner
Excellent.
of Sunnyside Preschool in Lake Stevens and also a Lake Stevens Education Foundation board member.
Fantastic. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. Awesome. Okay. The only thing I have left then, if there's not any other questions or anything else we want to go over, I announced the winners of the 2021 Board of Directors election. There were 6 people who put their names into or nominated for 4 board positions coming in next year. And we also had on the ballot selection for vice president. Let's do that one first, since it was Monica was the only one, and we didn't get any write-ins. So Monica, congratulations! You've been selected as vice president for the chamber for 2021. Thank you very much. For our 2021 board of directors, the winners are winning a second term, Juanita Williams, Gary O'Reilly, Frank Mesa, and Marcy Manabusan from Waste Management. Those are our 4 new board members for 2021. So thank you. I want to thank Cindy Ann and Lily for also being on the ballot this year and stepping up to volunteer for the board positions. We appreciate that, and we'd love to have you guys be part of our committees. If you're interested in that, reach out to me and let me know, and I'll be happy to chat with you about it. But I definitely want to thank you for stepping up to put your name on the ballot out there. We appreciate that too. Coming up on Thursday, coming up later today, we've got the networking after hours, so don't forget that. Again, I put the link in the chat for signing up for that. It's also on the front page of the website if you don't find it there. And coming up Thursday in our newsletter, I'll have the link to nominate our members of the year and business of the year, chamber member of the year, and person of the year. Those are the 2 that we do. And so watch for that link coming up in the newsletter on Thursday. Other than that, don't forget to sign up for Knights of Lake Stevens. Thank you all for coming out there today, and have a fabulous Thanksgiving if we don't see you before then, and take care. Stay safe, wear your mask. Take care, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Mayor.